Hello everybody and welcome to this video on Opendoor. So over the next few months, I'm going to make a good dozen videos on Opendoor where I want to focus on specific aspects of Opendoor that make Opendoor a great investment in my opinion, and really a 0 to 1 investment. So stay tuned, and I hope to be posting one video a week about Opendoor, really going in depth into one aspect of the company. And today, I want to focus on the most important aspect, or at least the most salient feature of Opendoor, and why Opendoor is better than using the traditional real estate system. And that is the fees, the selling fees. The fees, the coordination, and the lack of bridge loan. So I'm going to address the three things I'm going to address why Opendoor saves you so much. And this is the classic playbook of disruption of Peter Thiel's book 0 to 1. When you have a product that is so much cheaper, the market can't help but to turn that company into a monopoly. And so, of course, Opendoor is going through some trouble right now with their valuation and the losses they're taking on their homes. But I think the market won't be able to help making Opendoor a monopoly. Like, it will make Opendoor, not investment advice, but Opendoor, I think, will become huge. And that begins with the value proposition, with one aspect of the value proposition of Opendoor, which is saving money. When you save money, when something is much cheaper, it really doesn't matter. That business is going to win. And Opendoor is starting with a selling fee of 5% versus a legacy realtor selling fee of 6%. So right off the bat, you save 1% of the value of Opendoor to begin with. But of course, this is just the beginning. As this company scales, I see no reason why Opendoor doesn't hit more and reduces the fee even more. What if Opendoor does a 4% listing fee? I mean, then the value proposition becomes even bigger, but we're starting out at 5% selling fee, and that's enough to gain a lot of market share. Because look at that. The average home in America is $429,000. Saving 1% on this is $4.29,000. So you save a lot of money by buying a home Opendoor. Saving 1% is meaningful. As an example, the average, and I'm going to use just average numbers in the United States is what I'm going to use for this example. The average household saving rate is 5.1% per year. That's how much the average American household puts into a saving account a year. That 1% corresponds to the yearly savings of an $84,000 wage earner. That is meaningful. If you're starting out in life, early 30s, late 20s, and you have a decent salary, 84K, that is meaningful. 1% is meaningful. That's 1 year of savings to you. That's meaningful. And the bigger question is, who searches for the home in the digital age? Who is it that does that search? Why does the legacy system of real estate, why do these fees, why are they doomed? Why are those fees going away? They're going to go away eventually. Just like they went away for brokers, for stock brokerage. Just like they're going away in the car sector. We buy cars online. The same is going to happen to real estate. I believe it's Opendoor is going to make this disruption. But if it's not Opendoor because the market is crazy, another company will come and disrupt that. Because it's fair. Because it's the way of the system. Today, when you search a home in the digital age, you are the one doing all of the research today. Consumers are hyper aware of the value of their homes. Everybody has a Zillow account. All of the data is out there. So you don't need an expert to tell you the data anymore, because the data is clear and is accessible. And the informational advantage that once existed in any profession, that information advantage collapses. And that's what's happening to real estate. So these fees, 5% is just the opening salva, right? It's going to get much cheaper over time, I believe. I have very little doubt about that. So Not an estimate value, but I'm very confident on Opendoor, and 1% is meaningful. But wait a minute. That is not the only way Opendoor's system saves you money. There is another way that they save you money. So, and this is the big one. Why do we have in the traditional real estate world, why does the seller of a home, and most people sell a home to buy a new home, either to upgrade, to downgrade, to move for a job? That's what like the bulk of the market is. Why would you have to go through the hell that is to sell a house, right? We're not professional salespeople. We're not professional. It's like why would you want to go through negotiating through your realtor and another real estate agent and going through these negotiations and the back and forth and spending a month, 2 months doing a back and forth. I'm going to pick up these repairs. I'm not going to do these repairs. Dealing with different types of loans, VA loans, FDA loans, doing repairs on your home to fit the loan that your buyer is going to get. This is not something that you should have to be doing as a seller of a house. As a seller of the house, you should just focus on making a transaction. And that's where Opendoor comes in. Opendoor creates efficiencies where you can give your house to Opendoor for a 5% selling fee. And Opendoor is going to handle everything for you instead of you having to handle it. And so that uncertainty is gone. That coordination that has to go with knowing when to sell a house and when you finally sell a house, the issues with buyers backing out for X, Y, or Z reasons, buyers having a change of heart. If you sell a house, you know that selling a house is all about adding, 5 different types of inspection, each of which means you can back out, like adding many caveats to the contract, making you back out. Like it's not uncommon. One of the houses I've sold 3 times, the buyer backed out. This is not something that as a individual with an individual realtor, this is not something that most people want to go through. This is not that, right? You want to have the efficiencies of big tech handle that for you. That's what Opendoor is after. Opendoor is after creating these efficiencies. When you buy and sell stocks, it's seamless. Real estate should be that way. Real estate should be seamless. And because Opendoor is a marketplace, a liquidity provider that is able to buy your house and hold your house as you shop for another house, it is able to coordinate sell and buy dates. And that is a tremendous deal because if you coordinate your sell and buy dates, you sell your home to Opendoor, you have a contract with Opendoor, you agree to sell the home with Opendoor, and then you go look for another house. You go look for another house, and once you've found another house, Opendoor takes your old house at the pre-agreed price, and at the same time, your title transfers for a new house. So it's kind of like we do it in the auto sector. In the auto sector, the auto dealer will take your car back, and you give your old car when you get the new car. This is the way it should work for real estate. And doing so, like imagine if you were trying to sell a car before you buy a new car, well, you're out of car for a month or two, and you have to rent one. Well, the same is true for real estate. If you sell a house and you can't know whether you can afford another house or what kind of other house or you're going to buy until you sell that house, there's huge costs associated to that. And mostly it's 2 moves. You have to do 2 moves in the traditional process. You have to move twice. You have to move once your stuff out of the house to the storage unit, and you have to move another time from the storage unit to your house. So Opendoor saves you one move out of the two moves. You only need to do one move on Opendoor, and you don't go through the storage unit. So Opendoor could be a disruptor for storage unit, could be a disruptor for moving companies that sell storage. And I estimate having to, for the average home, once again, it's all about the average home. For the average home, I estimate that buying with Opendoor will yield $3,000 of savings. That's tremendous. That adds to the 1%, to the 4,300 of the 1%. You add 3,000. And I'm not even talking about all the other aspects. It's like, it's not just about money. Like, Opendoor saves you so much stress. Like, it's really, really great. So move only once. So that's option number, that's the advantage number 2. The Opendoor advantage number 2 is move only once. Advantage number 1, 1% less when you sell. Advantage number 2, move only once. But wait, that's not it. There is another direct financial advantage of doing it with Opendoor, and I'm calling this the no bridge loan, but it could also be interpreted as not having two mortgages. When you sell a house and buy another house, during that transition period, you're either going to have two mortgages or you're going to have a bridge loan. So the example here that I'm taking is that of a bridge loan, but the mortgage example, if you calculate 2 extra months of mortgage or 3 extra months, however long it takes you to take your house, that yields about the same savings. So when you coordinate, you don't need to pay for capital. You don't need to pay interest on capital during that transition period. It is seamless. So assuming you have 20% down, which is again what the average on the average price of a house, $429,000, and assuming you get to a bridge loan for this, the bridge loan would cost you $7,700 in interest. That would be the cost of the bridge loan. Actually, probably higher now that interest rates are moving up. That is a saving. You save this because you don't have to worry about getting two mortgages at once or to worry about getting a bridge loan, because the buy and the sell are fully 100% coordinated. So Opendoor saves you so much thanks to its low fees, thanks to the fact you don't have to move, and thanks to the fact you don't have to have two mortgages or bridge loan. And when you add it up, again, this is for the average home in America, basic savings calculation. I am not talking about any of the hedonic benefits of Opendoor. I'm just talking about the financial benefits of going through Opendoor. Selling fee saved, $4.3 thousand. Moving cost, $3,000. Bridge loan, $7.7 thousand. The average buyer saves $15,000, using average numbers for everything, saves $15,000 by going through Opendoor. That is meaningful. That is, if I were to take the annual savings rate again, that is the total annual savings of an average family making $295,000 a year. Two well-paid, successful professionals are able to save 1 year worth of savings. Again, these are the averages. Of course, I would argue that a lot of people save more than that, but these are averages. A lot of people don't save anything because they do paycheck to paycheck kind of thing. These are wonderful savings. These are wonderful savings, and you know, it is disruptive. When you save $15,000, it is disruptive. It's like nobody's in love with the current real estate experience, you know. And you have to do it 7 times in your life. Like 7 times in your life, you have to coordinate. 7 times in your life, you have to do 2 moves. This is like so disruptive. You know, this is very, very disruptive. This is akin to what I call, to what we call in disruption the 0 to 1 disruption. You know, the benefit that you get for giving up the traditional process is $15,000 on average. Could be much higher. So we can't calculate really how many orders of magnitude better that is, right? Because the traditional process yields you 0. But how many orders of magnitude better is that? Is it 10 times? Is it 100 times? Is it 1,000 times? Is it 3 orders of magnitude better? Well, I argue if you add the cost savings to all of the other benefits that I hope to present during the next 2 months, 1 video a week, if you add all of the different benefits, you could get easily between 2 and 3 orders of magnitude better. If Opendoor is between 2 and 3 orders of magnitude better, i.e. between 100 and 1,000 times better, it's like gravity. You can't argue with it. It's not possible. It's not possible to argue with it. It is a disruptive business. This is disruptive. There's a new paradigm for real estate. If Opendoor doesn't make it, someone else will create that new paradigm. But the informational advantage will fall and be replaced by a liquidity provider. Like it fell in the stock market. It used to be much harder to buy stocks. It's easy now, right? You can't fight the paradigm. You can't fight a new paradigm like Opendoor. You can't. It's like arguing with gravity. You can't argue with gravity. There's a new, better way. It's going to attract customers. It's just so much better. It's the best, cheapest product, right? It's not a strategy that relies on trade-offs between quality and cost. There is no trade-off to be made with Opendoor, contrary to what a lot of people would have you believe. It is both better and cheaper. Opendoor may be too early, at least that's what the market believes right now. That's what all of the fear is on Opendoor. But you know what? If it's not Opendoor and you understand that this market is getting disrupted, you will find a company that will disrupt that sector. That sector will be disrupted. And I believe Opendoor is the credible survivor of the real estate disruption. Zillow's out, right? Redfin's out. Who's the main survivor of that disruption? That's Opendoor. Who's the biggest market share in that disruption? That's Opendoor. So very, very powerful stuff. Opendoor, I will conclude this first video out of the dozen reasons that I will find for Opendoor the next 2 months. This first video I will conclude with Opendoor has discovered, right? Very important keyword here. Has discovered a faster, better, cheaper, more virtuous way to transact homes. It is a liquidity provider. It will not be the same going forward. And if Austrian economics, and that's what entrepreneurship is all about, right? That's what disruption is all about. If Austrian economics taught us anything, is that disruption is inevitable. And this was just what I could think of the top of my mind in 1 minute. And I can tell you there is way more than these disruptions, and I'm running out of space. Opendoor has discovered a better way. It is cheaper. The cost alone will lead a lot of people to flee to Opendoor. People will flee in droves to Opendoor. But trust me, the cost is not the only reason, and I hope to talk about all of the other reasons why I have such a high conviction in Opendoor. This is not a stock that needs to be 10%, 20% of your portfolio to do very, very well. Like this is a riskier stock, but I believe even a 1% exposure, if they achieve and if they execute, the potential, the growth potential is tremendous. I mean, in the US alone, the market for real estate transaction is 2.4 trillion. In the US alone, like the potential is tremendous for a company that is trading at close to $1 billion in market cap. The market really divided that company by 20x, and it fascinates me. The present value, the expected value of the disruption potential alone for this should be way higher than the current market cap. Even if you think they have 10% odds, it should be much higher than that. Not investment advice, but I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and you know I don't just talk about this. I am invested in Opendoor, and I think a lot of savvy investors are people that are out of the indexes, people who actually do the research on these companies. This is something we can see coming. Not investment advice. Thank you so much. This was my first video out of a dozen on Opendoor. That was reason number 1, the fee structure, the money reason why they will win. Not investment advice. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. I hope to publish some threads going forward on Twitter. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for commenting and liking the video. Thank you so much.